What it was, what it do, it's your boy King M back again with another one. So today I got a special guest, a good friend of mine. I've been trying to get her on the show for a while now. She got a good ass story for y'all to hear, and I can't wait for y'all to hear it. So I'm gonna bring her introduced. Come on now, sis.
Alright.
Alright. How you feeling today, sister?
I'm okay.
That's alright now. Tell the people your name and
My name is April.
what brought you on the show today.
My good friend asked me to do an interview for him, let everybody know what substance abuse is about and what my story is.
And that good friend would be me.
Of course.
Alright.
22 years. Wilson hired son and says he returned to Honduras because things are ugly in the U.S. The president says he's open to bringing certain undocumented
Questions for me to answer.
We're going to work with them so that maybe someday, with a little work, they can come back in if they're good people.
This all comes as public information.
We already ready. But I was over here messing around, yeah.
Oh yeah. It happens to the best of us.
Yeah, alright, here we go.
Okay.
Alright. So tell me a little bit about your childhood and growing up and who raised you. Stuff like that.
I had both my parents in my life until I was about, say 15. My parents got divorced. I lived on a farm until I was about 12. Moved to the suburbs from 12 to 15. Once when I was on the farm, you learn responsibilities and how to grow as a person or individual. Hard work makes you a better. It always makes you a better person. 5 minutes early, you're 5 minutes late. You want to be 15 minutes early. You want to make sure you get everything completed before it's due.
Okay.
I had both my parents in my life. Like I said, my parents got divorced. I think it was the best. My dad still loved my mom, and my mom still loved my dad. Unfortunately, my dad was an alcoholic, and that really tore my mom up because when my dad would drink, he would get mean. So that's how that ended.
Did you see a lot of violence? Not to cut you off, growing up. Did you see a lot of violence growing up?
No, not really. You'd be surprised. I got my ass beat a lot.
Did you see a lot of violence as far as your father being abusive to your moms and your siblings, anything like that? Or was it like...
It was more like my dad wouldn't hit my mom. He would get her somewhere and then punch the wall, kind of thing.
Okay.
He wouldn't put her in
like scare, kind of.
Yeah. My dad, I can remember this one story. My dad came home drunk when I was living at the farm, and I didn't like the crust. And I ate the peanut butter and jelly, and I left the plate on the table, the coffee table. And when he came home, he was drunk, and he broke the plate. And I got my ass beat with the belt buckle. So prior to that, I would always eat the crust.
Wow, for just not eating no crust?
He was drunk,
okay,
and he broke the plate. He didn't meet... As an adult, I can make it rational in my head.
Right,
it doesn't make it right, but at the time, I was a kid. I didn't know any better. When my dad was bipolar schizophrenic, so when he would drink, it would make it evaporated. It would make it so much harder for him to understand. I remember one time we were on the farm, and my mom was at work one night, and we were driving around in the fields. My dad was drunk, and whatever. And we had propane tank. And my dad was seriously 6 inches close to hitting it before he braked. With all my siblings in the car.
Oh, he was going to crash into the propane
tank.
tank.
He just, we all had to yell him, stop, you know what I mean? His brain, it's something different when you're bipolar and schizophrenic. It is a different level. Unfortunately, if you don't know what it is, it's hard to explain it really. My little brother had it.
Yeah, I have it too.
So you have waves of ups and lows, manic,
it's episodes.
Yes, and you just gotta work with them. After we moved from the farm to Spurs Point so they could be closer to their jobs, because they were driving 2 hours each way, and after working a 12-hour shift, that turns into a 16-hour day.
Right.
That's long, and you got to get back to work the next morning. Mm-hmm. So it was getting harder. That's why we moved to the suburbs, because they were literally 5 minutes away each way.
And I was just about to ask you that. So you went from the rural area to the suburbs just like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Was it a culture shock for you?
For me personally, yes. Like for me, yes. For my older sister, she was ready to explore. You know what I
Okay.
mean? And my younger siblings didn't have enough for it to be a culture shock.
Right.
You know,
They was
because
too young to understand.
Dan and my sister was too old to it was beneath her.
Right.
She didn't want to do anything on the farm. She was playing Paula Abdul with the little middle claps things and the little Madonna little tassels on her booby things.
So
And
she was like on her girly girl tip?
yeah, my
I got
older
you.
sister.
She wasn't
And,
trying to break no nails, get her hands
no,
dirty.
absolutely not. I'm out there picking up snakes, chasing my mom around the farm.
Wow.
With my dad. I was
Yeah.
my dad's boy, basically.
Okay.
You know, throwing hay around, doing, you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I enjoyed getting dirty. Not that I enjoyed getting dirty, but I
You
didn't
had your
mind.
tomboyish side.
Yeah.
And I see that in you, April. I really do.
Yeah.
Like, it's not bad. It's cool. It's a good thing.
I can dress up. I could be prom and pripper, and I can be a girl. I can totally do it.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna-
I seen you throw your dress on the other day. You was all prissy. I
Yeah.
know. I believe it.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it was just different. From 48 to 1 acre, it was a culture shock for me. I had nowhere to hide.
Right.
Nowhere to peace mine.
Yeah, you could just walk off when you was out on the farm
Yeah.
and get some free ass and
Yeah.
space. Get your
It
thoughts
wasn't
clear.
like that when we got to the suburbs. We had houses all around us.
Right.
The neighborhood I lived in, the houses were at least $500,000 or more.
In the suburbs?
Yeah, where we went.
So y'all was in like the rich uppity
Yeah,
part.
we had a boat, we had 2 cars,
Okay.
not brand new cars, but not like older than 2
Up
years
to
old.
date cars.
Yes, and you know, I think it set a tone for my siblings. I got stuck on the fact that I didn't care if it got to A to B. It's all I needed. That's different. You know, like my siblings had a different look on life than I did. I just took it as simple. You know, like I said, I could find something to do.
Yeah. And I heard you say y'all had boats. So when y'all moved out Sparrows Point, y'all had a waterfront?
So we actually didn't. We had 2 piers. So the house that we lived in, when you come up the road, there was a marina. So our boats were less than like a minute drive.
Okay.
And we had one was like a speedboat, was like a fishing boat. So like when we get on the speedboat, we all go out for the day on the water. And then if we were just going fishing, we would take the other boat. We also had a canoe, which that was the hardest experience to learn. To balance a canoe when you're like big girl, and you know my dad, he's 6'3", $190, you know.
And y'all both in the canoe trying to.
Yeah,
wow, I know
absolutely.
that was crazy.
Yes.
Oh man, shoot, that's what's up, man. And I ain't gonna lie, like when you living off the land like that, the experience is so much funner than the city life. I feel like
Absolutely.
it's just different. I don't know.
It would be a culture shock. I think if we took someone, if you have a country mouse and a city mouse. If I took the city mouse to the country, he would not know how to survive.
Yeah.
Because it would be such a culture, just like it would be for the country mouse to come to the city. He just has a different look at. Everybody has a different, but everybody can adapt.
Yeah.
As humans, we have the ability to adapt.
Yeah.
Not all of us like change. I hate change. But that's because of the choices and decisions of my life.
Right.
So I don't like change. I can adapt, but I don't like change.
Yeah, and you know that change is inevitable.
Absolutely.
Like everything is constantly changing.
Absolutely, but history repeats itself.
Yeah, that's true too. That's definitely true too.
Absolutely.
All right, tell me a little bit about your drug use again.
Okay, so the very first time I did drugs, my friend Rob, I had a headache, and my friend Rob gave me 2 Depot, and I was rolling really bad. I didn't know that I had done, I thought it was Tylenol, and I told her there was something wrong. I was feeling rugs and feeling arms.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, there was something wrong with that Tylenol. And then, you know, I smoked 3 packs of cigarettes, never smoked cigarettes in my life.
Right.
So it was definitely something there. That was my first drug experience.
Yeah.
You know, and then once I met my husband, we did coke a lot. You know, and we would smoke
Powder
weed.
coke.
Yeah, powder.
Okay.
I'm a sniffer.
Gotcha.
I'm not a shooter,
Right,
or
right,
not
right.
really big a smoker. I've smoked crack, and I smoked heroin.
What's the difference between? Because I always wondered. I know coke and crack is the same drug, but it's in a different form, right?
Yeah, so coke is a powder form. So when you make crack, you take the powder form and you add baking soda and water to it. And you
Okay.
put it in the microwave and dry it out.
Gotcha.
And then you chip it up in pieces.
Gotcha. We're not trying to teach y'all how to cook coke.
That's not what
the idea.
that wasn't. I was just giving an example.
Right. Just giving me an example.
Like, some people snort perks, some people smoke perks,
Yeah.
some people just take them normal. I think it's just all in your behavior.
Right.
I've seen, I've done crystal meth.
Right.
I've done ice, and there's a difference, it's called crank. It's made in a bathtub in West Virginia.
Right.
It's just, I think, culturally, each area is different. I've also had moonshine,
Wow.
from being in West Virginia.
Right.
If you have $50, you make 500. That was always a motto in West Virginia. You mix a bunch of stuff in a metal bathtub and then sell it. And these people smoke the shit out of it.
Yeah, right.
Like little, double A batteries. You put it in there, it melts down. Our battery acid.
For the crystal meth?
Well, not for crystal meth.
The
That's for ice.
Okay.
For crank, pretty much.
Gotcha.
And you can snort that. You can smoke that. There's just many forms. It's like, chasing the dragon.
Is it addictive?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I'm pretty sure it probably would be, but like...
It's also really mind altering. For example, my husband had stayed up, and he was up for like 4 days in a row. And for some reason, this girl I worked with, she was just hanging out. We would work together. Well, he thought me and the girl was in a relationship.
Yeah.
So he broke her windows while he was high on crystal meth because he thought we were down there being girlfriend and girlfriend.
Right. Getting freaky on them.
But
We wanted some of that action. That's what that was.
It wasn't going to happen, brother. Because I don't eat at the Y.
Right.
Ain't not going to happen. This lifetime or the next.
I hear that, sis. So that's I'm listening to the spectrum of drugs you sharing with me. You said a lot of different substances just now that you tried.
Yeah.
And myself, I feel like I tried a lot of shit, but shit, I ain't seen nothing yet. You said ice, crystal meth. What was the other one you said?
E-pills, MDA, Molly,
I think it
heroin,
was MDA.
Percocets. I had one friend that I would snort my perk, they would smoke a perk 30. And I would be like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, because to me, I feel like you were wasting, but they got some kind of a high from it.
Right.
I've also seen people when they don't have like a Loratab, it's the or hydrocodone, they will literally shave up a Tylenol and snort it so their nose will stop running.
Wow.
I've literally personally seen it.
That's how dependent they became off of it.
Yeah, off the Tylenol on the narcotic. You know what I mean? Because Loratab is just Tylenol and 7.5 of like hydrocodone, and then it's 300 milligrams of Tylenol.
Okay.
So it's if you're snorting, little feet things you do to shake your feet.
Yeah.
They would carry them around and shake their pills on. So it'd be a really fine powder.
Wow.
Because they feel like they would get more of it in their nose.
Yeah, that's crazy that you...
Where you could just break a pill and it breaks up just as well, you just mix it with your straw and same thing.
Right. Now, I think that shaving thing, that sounds like that's the finest you gonna get it.
Yeah.
But to think of that, like, who the hell decided I'm gonna use a pet egg to shave my... Because that's what they call pet eggs.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking, like, who came up with that idea?
I'm not sure, really, and it was astounding to me because that's gotta take a lot of thinking.
A lot of thinking.
Right, and I think it's because previous people had shown them.
Yeah.
But it's just like, how like we don't, back in the day, heroin was actually heroin. I've actually seen the China Brown. I've also seen China White.
Right.
Nowadays, it's more fentanyl than anything else.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not what it was, opium's like different. It's different. It's a different characteristic. Like it's a chemical compound. It's about chemistry. It's what all drugs come down to.
Right.
Now, the only drug that I personally, I can say that I haven't tried is like I have not tried any acid. I was always scared I would get stuck in a acid trip and a dragon would eat me. Somebody told me about a dragon would eat you. I was like, no.
They sound like they had a bad trip.
You know what I mean?
Were you ever offered a chance to try it?
No, I never really looked for it.
Okay.
I mean,
so that was just something that never really crossed your mind, and you never thought about getting.
No, after they told me about that drug, I was like, you know, but, and I'm not really a big drinker. Alcoholism runs really deep in my family.
Right.
My dad's was an alcoholic, my older sister's an alcoholic, my younger sister's an alcoholic, and my younger brother was an alcoholic.
Wow.
I didn't find out till later that my mom was shooting coke up in her toes. My mom was shooting coke up in between her toes. She was a nurse. So she was working for the VA center with all the veterans and stuff. And somebody there, I don't know how that happened, you know what I mean? So I figured, as long as I don't drink, I'll be fine. I can go far left and just do drugs.
Yeah, right. I ain't gonna be that bad.
Yeah, no. Once my brother passed, and I had that moment where I just wanted to go, I was instantly hooked on that moment of I could forget all my feelings at once. That's what hooked me on heroin.
Okay, because once you did it, it gave you that it gave you that moment of everything don't matter right now.
Yeah, everything don't matter. The sky could literally blow down fire on me and it would not matter.
Right.
And that's what I wanted. And I knew. You know, and as an addict, we look for instant gratification.
Yeah, we chase that shit our whole life sometimes.
Yeah, it's very hard sometimes. It really is.
A lot of times, April. It's hard a lot of times.
I mean, you know, I'm proud that I've been here since August, you know, and I pretty much stayed away from dope, you know, and to be honest, I feel like it's my personal opinion. I can't change the rules because I want to do it.
No,
you know,
I feel you.
You know what I mean? They made it legal now, you know, so it makes me feel like finally they're getting it. But you also got to think how much money is involved when that marijuana bill.
I know it's a lot. That's why they do it.
For Colorado.
Because they can get paid off of it.
Yes, absolutely.
As long as the government can tax it, they'll make
Cigarettes and
it.
everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's the whole kicker. They want to get something from it.
They need something from
They
it.
gotta get something from it.
Absolutely.
And that's why I believe that it's really not about the person no more. It's about what they can get out of us as a whole.
Like, especially with cigarettes. When you increase the taxes and stuff all the time.
Yeah, man.
Like, why do you need, but then again, I choose to smoke. You know what I mean? Like, I choose to do that.
Yeah.
So, kind of like, you can't bitch about it if you choose.
Yeah. I feel like the main thing is, as you as an individual, you gotta get to know you for who you really are.
Yeah.
You know, because until you find out who you really are, you're gonna keep wasting money on cigarettes or maybe fucking
shopping,
just whatever.
Whatever vice you have, gambling, shopping, gaming.
Because you're trying to find something, but it's really not out there.
It's not. It's
what
about
you
yourself.
want is inside of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things about being an addict. I think a lot of us forget that it all starts with us. We go everywhere we go. Mm-hmm. So you can change a person, you can change people, place, and things. But as long as I'm going, I'm the problem.
Right.
Not the people, not the place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't. That kind of. You have to be willing to show your shortcomings and take an inventory and realize, well, I have to do this better so I'm a better person. Not just for the world, for myself, because I want better.
Yep. Real talk.
Absolutely.
Heck yeah. Tell me what, if anything, was positive. This is another question I asked you earlier about the drug use, but you told me, you said it made you numb, right?
Yeah.
So, and that sounds like really the only thing getting high really do for us. After the first one. But the first one for me, I got that bell ringer, but after that I was chasing that shit.
That high.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
chasing that shit. So, yeah, it's really nothing good about getting high.
No, it's. I
don't
mean,
think
I
it's
think
really
it's. I
nothing
think
good
it's a
about
mental thing, though. I think once we can assess our shortcomings and what we want and what we need to do to be the best version of us, I feel like that's how we would be able to decide how we're gonna go. You know what I mean? Like move on from after being in a place that we are. We have to be willing to stop, understand why, and continue living and thriving without that substance, regardless of what it is.
Right.
Alcohol, weed, heroin, oxycodone, whatever it is.
Yeah, because I believe everybody has that secret key ingredient in themselves already. They just gotta be willing to take the time out to dig deep and
Take time
pull it
and
out.
chance.
And like for me, I pulled my shit out while I was locked up.
Okay.
I didn't have no time to do anything else but think about what I was in there for and come to grips with who I am. What do I want out of life?
Yep.
Like if I don't want shit out of life, keep doing what I'm doing, I'm gonna end up back right here. But I knew that it wasn't what I really wanted. So the first step I did was went in the program. And shit started changing for me. And I haven't been locked up in 4 or 5 years.
You gotta be proud of yourself for that.
I am.
You know, thankful. No.
No, I don't even got no season.
You need to go to Josh. Josh might have season salt.
That was a cook.
Sorry.
It's pulled up on us. What are your worries about your drug use?
Being able to understand that even if I want to be numb, that's not the option. I'd like to forget some things. No, I want to be able to remember things, but I also want to forget the bad things. Does that make sense? Like, I want to be able to remember the good times or forget all the bad.
I think I get what you're saying. Kind of like you want to be able to.
I want to pick and choose. I want to be picky.
You want to be picky?
Yeah, I want to be picky, basically.
You want to remember the bad times, but not the good times.
I want to remember the good times, but all the bad times, I just want them to go away.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't think remembering the good times might trick you into thinking that it's okay to go back out there because you had fun? Is that what you mean by remembering the good times?
For example is taking my kids to look at Christmas lights. And then taking and remembering that brightness in their eyes to look at the Christmas lights. To that first Christmas without the kids. I want to forget that moment, that sorrow, that depression. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you want to forget about all the shit that made you feel like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I see exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Because that's the stuff that usually holds us back from becoming better than we was.
Absolutely.
Or growing and becoming a better version of ourselves. Because we so stuck on the shit that we did that wasn't even who we really are.
No.
Because you wasn't in your right state of mind when you was in the active addiction.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I've only known you for a month or two, and I know you got a good heart. I know that wasn't.
I think everybody forgets about that. I put my hands on the same thing you do.
Right.
So same as the CEO or the homeless man.
That's a good saying too, April, because it's true. We all got one leg first, the other leg, and
we all put pants on, unless you're wearing your pants backwards, and then I will help you put them on right.
you still got to put your legs in the motherfucker.
Right.
So.
But I think treating someone because I'm mad or I'm pissed off at Mr. Wayne or anybody else makes no difference. That makes me being mean to you. Not only is that fucking my day up, that fucks your day up. Why would I do that to you?
Right.
You didn't deserve that. You didn't do anything to hinder or make me treat you that way.
Yeah.
So I try to remember that. I'm not 100% going to say I do that 100% of the time, but I do try very hard to remember where my emotions are.
Yeah.
You know, that impulse control,
Right,
along with being an addict.
Yeah. And that's a big thing for us as addicts, impulse control. Because you know, with that fucking, when we out there, we want what we want when we want it.
Instant gratification.
If we can't, we gonna figure out a way to get it.
Any listen, beg, borrow, steal,
Yeah.
take,
Man, that shit is,
you know,
I
sometimes.
think back now, that shit just makes me wonder, man, where would I be if I still was out there?
Like, yeah, it's hard. But, you know, I think one of the things that drove me to really stop is I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. Waking up ill, trying to find the next thing I needed to get through the day. And I don't want to do that anymore, you know, and that's why I came to recovery. I don't want to have to get up to get something first thing in the morning,
Right.
so I can go do something else to get more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How many programs have you been in? This your first program? Wow. So, throughout your whole 44 years?
41.
Apologize about
No
that.
worries.
So out of your 41 years, this was the first time where you felt like you had a problem and needed to get help for it? Or
I really
just
think
waited? What was it?
it's probably after my brother, I really got stuck in it. I really did.
Okay.
He's my best friend. After my mom went and the kids, I didn't look by myself. You know, what's the purpose?
Right.
I ain't got anybody down here doing breaths. You know what I mean? Like my father, he died in '06. You know, so. And me and
You
my
had 3 siblings, right?
yeah, my older sister, my younger sister, because I'm an addict and they're just alcoholics, they're better than me.
Wow.
Also, they're raised.
That's what they think. Alcohol is a drug too.
Absolutely.
They're in the same boat as you.
We got into physical altercation because my little brother was living with me
Okay.
when he did what he did.
Inshallah,
And they feel like I should have protected him. I should have defended him more, but I can't control him mental illness. You know?
Right.
So
You can lead on to the water, but you can't make them drink.
yeah.
And if it wasn't you, it would have been somebody else that
Absolutely.
would have that blood would have been on their hands, if you want to say that. So
Absolutely.
don't ever feel bad about it.
I mean, I did for a while, and I think that's why I went and did those contacts. I felt so guilty as a sister, as a mother, as my best friend. It was just like a total mind fuck because I couldn't figure out where I fucked up for him to think that was the best solution.
And wasn't that when the time frame when you said you got the 10 pills and wanted to end it?
Yeah, that was right after he did that.
Okay. And that you was unsuccessful with that, as
Yeah,
we can see.
yeah. I've never OD'd though. I've never done it.
Now, when you say OD, you know ODing doesn't just consist of going out needing to get woke up. ODing just means doing more than what your body can handle. So
I'm a horse. I'm being honest.
I believe you.
I have a, you know, like Halidol, they give the crazy people to calm them down.
Yeah. Well, actually, I don't, but it sounds like something strong.
You know, like usually 4 milligrams will set somebody down.
That's like that shot they hit you in the ass with.
Yeah, I've gotten 4 in an hour, and it was still raining. I was like, dude, come on, let's go. I'll fight you right now. And I still.
Really?
Yes, I
Oh
was.
my goodness.
I was in such bad pain, and they couldn't figure out how to do it without giving me narcotics.
Wow.
Because I was like, I didn't want any narcotics. I wanted, and I was like trying. I'm like, just give me something. I can't. And they gave me the Halidol 4 times. And I'm like, Miss Miller, how are you not sleeping? I'm like, I'm in so much bad pain. I ended up having a seizure.
Yeah.
And then when I woke up after my seizure, so when I get in bad pain, I get seizures. So I have a pain tolerance. I handle a lot of pain. I'm not even mentally, but physically.
Right.
So
That's the kick of the physical thing.
yeah. And once you have that physical pain, the mental pain on top of the physical pain, it makes it some days, I don't know how I get up out of bed.
Yeah, I believe you. But through it all, you're growing and becoming stronger, whether you see it or not.
I mean,
Because of what you're dealing with.
absolutely, growth is growth.
Yeah, definitely.
Even if it's an inch. You know what I mean? An inch is an inch. Regardless to me, to you, whoever. I see some of my growth, but then there's sometimes I go, damn, it's been 3 weeks and I haven't, where's the growth?
Right.
And
You don't see the results you're looking for.
instant gratification. I want to see that instant result. Like when you're on the farm.
Right.
Yeah.
That sounds like your biggest issue from what I'm hearing so far. Just you having to keep yourself from wanting that instant gratification and finding that coping skill to deal with it. When you get to that point,
Yeah.
you say that?
Yeah, you can say that. So like what I'm trying to do is find something. I asked Mr. Marcus if I could paint the little fence post out front.
Yeah.
And I said I'll paint them orange and blue.
You talking about that white sign that's out front?
No, the post, the new little fence things they put like all over.
I see what you're saying, the wood
I
out
told him, I
there.
said, let me paint them. You know, I like to do things like that. Brings me center. I don't know how to explain it. Like,
She brings some joy.
yeah, it does. I love to paint. I love to do things with my hand. I like to plant. I like
You know,
to
art is actually therapeutic.
Absolutely.
It's a program in the city where you take art as a group because it's therapeutic. Yeah, it's called POW. It's on Broadway.
Okay.
By John Hopkins Hospital.
Okay, right down by, right off Fayette.
Yep, right off of
On
here.
the other side of Popeye.
Yep, exactly. 3200 Broadway Street. Yep.
I'll have to check that out.
Now I was there before.
Okay.
Oh, you said you should check it out.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said how did I check it out? Yeah, I was there a couple times. And I salute you again, April, for pretty much getting it your first try. You know, even though you haven't completed it yet,
Yeah.
I say you getting it your first try because we don't even say try no more. We're doing it or we're not doing it.
Well, I don't say I'm trying because trying's lying.
Yeah,
I'm working towards a bigger picture.
right.
And I have that
evidence.
picture painted.
Yep.
And Rome wasn't built in a day.
Nope, not at all.
And all the actions that I have done are my responsibility to fix to get to my big picture.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's up. Tell me what you noticed about the drug use. How has it changed over time?
I need it more to make the numbness stay. To be honest, like I need it, my tolerance.
You need it more to make the numbness to stay.
Yeah, I need it more to make the numbness be there. For like what I wanted it. Like,
And this was the heroin, right?
yeah. 'Cause
So you was addicted more to the downer. You wasn't so more so upper, or you had your time with that first and then you went to the
So, like, when I would do heroin, I would not, I would get energy, but I would get, my brain would shut off that part, and I'd like, okay, I gotta do dishes, I gotta do laundry, I gotta sweep, I gotta fold the clothes, I gotta put them away, I gotta make the bed, I gotta wash this, and so I could just, I'd actually make a list, check off, and all those feelings that I'm having, they're not there.
Yeah.
I don't have to feel sadness or loneliness or regret, shame, or guilt about things that have happened.
Right. None of the uncomfortable emotions.
Yes, and I wish there was a better way that I could cope with them,
Right.
and that's why, like I'm not on methadone or Suboxone.
Not? Wow.
When I tried methadone 2 years before I came here, and then for about 6 months I tried the Suboxone.
Gotcha.
And I just,
Wasn't really for you.
no, it wasn't for me. They originally started the methadone for pain management.
Yeah, right.
So I would stop taking perks.
Yeah.
And then I started Suboxone to get rid of the pain that I had.
Did the Suboxones help with the pain?
No.
I was just saying, because they never helped me either.
I was at 32 milligrams. I cut cold turkey.
Yeah.
I cut 140 cold turkey on methadone.
Wow.
I cut turkey.
That's a different story.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
said you 140?
I just cut it. Just cut it. Stopped going one day and just like, fuck it.
Wow.
And the
You could
Suboxone.
have went into a seizure off that. Girl, you blessed. Because you was playing with fire doing that.
See, I didn't.
Mind over
honestly,
matter though.
yeah, but like that 32 milligrams, I was like, ow. I said, I just stop taking it. I mean, it's mind over matter. I mean, why take something that, one, is not giving you no benefit,
Right.
two, is chaining you down,
Right.
and three, I exchanged the box or methadone for my dope,
Right. You just switching one habit for
for
another.
another habit, and I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
It was, to me, it'd be like me going from smoking, me doing heroin to going to drinking every day.
Right.
Why, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, you switch one bad habit to another bad habit.
Bad.
Because you can switch the habit, just make it a good
good
habit.
habit, absolutely.
Because if it's a good habit, then that's great. You know,
Yeah,
good habit makes good practice.
Absolutely.
So,
After, like, once the car accident happened, I came home. I went to be a nurse. I was going to school, working 3 jobs, you know, had myself busy. You know what I mean? The busier I kept myself, and I was sober almost 5 years after this guy.
okay.
And then once my mom got really sick, that year, that was that last year, I was so stressed out. I'm not even gonna lie, I started taking painkillers. Because I had painkillers when I first came out of the car accident. Because so much shit got fucked up.
Gotcha.
And then my mom got sick, so I had to put all my shit on. No, I wanted to put all my stuff on the back burner. I take care of my mom. Because at that point, that's all I had left, you know, in my life. So once my mom died, you know, I started buying more perks on the street. And my brother got sick the following year. You know what I mean? And did what he did on the railroad tracks.
Right.
And I had to get him back to walking. So as long as I keep busy, I don't really need drugs.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I'm being honest, but
Your
as
mind's
soon-
occupied.
yeah, as long as I'm occupied and I can keep my bad thoughts at bay,
Right.
I'm golden.
Absolutely.
But as soon as I can't, it's the Eiffel Tower falling all over me. Or better yet, the Twin Towers coming down. It's inevitable.
Right.
Yeah, there's nothing, that one plane going in, while the whole tower down.
It's the addictive behavior.
Yes.
And real quick, I wanted to say something that I kind of keyed in on. I noticed that a lot of the times in your life where you relapsed and went back to music was when you lost somebody.
Absolutely.
And this was bringing me to my next question. If something happened to, what's his name again? Ricky. Do you think you would be able to
No.
deal? And that's what you gotta find. You gotta find something to fill in that.
Yeah.
And you already know what it is. You gotta be busy.
Absolutely.
Because you don't want, God forbid, something to happen to him,
Yeah.
and then you revert back to what you used to doing.
Absolutely, because Ricky is my world.
Right.
And I
see that. I know that.
You know,
That's why I said that.
and the other thing is, you know, like my sisters, I haven't talked to them since May of last year.
Okay.
And I have no intent. For the first time.
Biological sister?
Yeah, my older sister, my younger sister.
So your brother gone, but your sisters is still alive.
Yeah.
Y'all not cool? What's the relationship with y'all?
My older sister, she has wet brain.
Oh, sorry to hear about that.
And my younger sister, she cries when she's drunk. And she wants to cry about the kids, and my mom, and my brother, and my dad. And it brings me to a whole new level because she doesn't want to take fault in anything. And it's my fault, my mom's gone. It's my fault, my brother's gone. It's my fault, my kids are gone.
Everything's on you.
Everything's on me all the time. So my sisters do that to me. And I'm not going to be the bigger person. And I'm not even going to lie. My brother would say, April, suck it up. Put your big girl face up. And just say, I'm sorry, Melissa. I'm sorry, Nicole. But I'm not going to do it this time. I always do it. And when you get called a junkie enough by your siblings, it hurts. I would never call him an alcoholic. I say you drink too much, but I would never will call him an alcoholic.
Well, you know they say hurt people.
Yes, absolutely.
It's not giving them
Misery loves company.
Yeah, that's also true.
And you know, I think once I get myself to a better stable position for me, because right now, I am homeless. Right now, I don't have 2 quarters to rub together. I have nothing saved. I barely have clothes on my back. I want to be a little stronger before I go back to the Lions.
I understand.
You know what I mean? And
You should definitely want to be fully prepared.
absolutely,
You're not equipped to go back.
I would not be able to, and I know that myself.
Right.
I thought about writing letters, but where do I start? What do I say? Why are you here? It would be the never-ending story of 20 questions, and it's just like I'm not strong enough to deal with that.
That's understandable. I think right now you should focus on right here, right now.
Get my health back
Get
together,
your health back together.
and my recovery. Now my
You ain't no
recovery.
good for them if you ain't no good for yourself anyway.
Absolutely. My recovery, I mean, it doesn't play second fiddle. It's just part of my recovery is getting my health back to normal.
Right.
I got to be back to a balance to be able to succeed at anything. And right now I'm not.
Right.
And I know that.
Right. And that's why I feel like everything gonna be okay. Because as long as you take it one step at a time, focus on right now, and just tackle this goal for today,
Yep.
whether that is get through the rest of the day without using, or maybe it might be make a phone call, set up some appointments for the day. All you can handle that right there, you're gonna be alright.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, my goal today was I got up actually yesterday.
The red one, not the blue
Goal was
one.
to get to my mental health appointment, talk to the guy, set up a new appointment,
I mean, like,
and
I
make
get the
phone
body
calls to
stuff,
get
but
ready
then
for
I'll make the
all
bed
my
part.
appointments that they wanted me to set up
See,
through
this
at
guy
the
has nothing
hospital.
but time.
So I
Look what
made,
he's doing.
had like 7 appointments Saturday. I think I made 2, but left 5 phone calls. So, but yeah,
That's what's up. Like I
But
know
it's
for
on
me,
it.
when I got to the point in life where I always felt like shit was too hard, or I wanted to give up. It ain't like you said, there's no off button to press in life, you know. And you can try to OD as much as you want, but if it's not your time, you ain't going nowhere.
yeah,
You just gonna wake up with a bad headache.
absolutely. Like I said before, I said, God don't want me and the devil don't want me. So apparently there's got to be a purpose somewhere.
And hey, if it works, I'll try to fix it. What was I about to say? I forgot. It'll come back to me.
Look at that. I need to get me some of them.
So he got it out of there.
What things have
and
you
then
noticed
I sometimes run across
that
shit
concern
like
you that you think could be a problem or might become a problem?
My mental health. I'm trying to reel it in before it gets worse off. I've noticed my anxiety, my PTSD gets bad. I dream a lot. I get a lot more flashbacks.
When you take mental health medicine,
Yes and no. So right now I take
some medicines
Look at this,
make you
man.
have medicines. That's why I was about to ask you. Is it
well,
something
so I
that
take Seroquel to sleep,
That's what
I
Josh
take them
tried.
too. They help with nightmares.
and then I take Pitocin BRAZ.
Yeah,
I'm
I
only
know
on
the
2.5.
RC.
But I used to be on 5, but I went to a new guy, the guy I went to see today.
Look at this cat.
And he wants to see what happens on the lower dose. And then I take Visceral which is just Benadryl.
Right.
And I'm only on, you know what I mean? So I'm thinking I need something higher, but I don't want to, like, I don't want like a Xanax.
Right.
But I've already tried
Missed the
Ativan
bag,
before,
nothing.
and that doesn't work. But I know that I don't want to be on Xanax or Klonopin.
Right. Nothing that's going to give you another type of habit or hinder you. I see what you're saying.
So, you know, and I asked him, you know, what can we do? He said, let me look at your meds, and I'll get back to you. So I go talk to him back for you, which is like 2 weeks. So, I mean, if I made it this long, I can make it this long, you know.
And you know they come out with new medicines
All
like
the
every
time.
other day, so
Absolutely.
he's still in the trial and error phase. You know, God willing, in a few weeks or maybe next time you talk to him, there is something that they got on the table that they can offer you that will give you the gratification you're looking for.
I mean, it's instant gratification. It's just the fact that I need something to make me feel, one, less anxious, less overwhelmed, and make me feel like I'm on the correct path. I don't have to second guess myself. I think that's what I need.
Right.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to be high. That's not what the goal is. It's just to quiet some of those voices. Not like schizophrenic or anything, but like the
Them
voices.
taboo thoughts that you
Yeah,
I get you.
like when I see a little kid and I'm like, and then my brain goes, remember when, and then it could be good or bad.
Right.
And sometimes it's good, but sometimes it's bad. But I don't want to lose the good ones.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like you said, it's a double-edged sword. It really is.
So like that's why I say take every day at a time and take it every hour at a time if you got to.
Sometimes you have to.
Yeah, heck yeah.
I mean, I think it's been a long time before since I had to take it minute by minute. Right after the car accident. So I think the first 6 months, I literally laid in a bed.
First 6 months, you just
Laid in a bed, got up and peed. I don't even think I took a shower, to be honest.
that's. I want to say it's like that's kind of like postpartum depression. In a way.
PTSD. It's
Oh,
part.
okay.
It's part of being, I think, lost in the moment, trying to figure out 1 + 1 makes 2.
Nah, but you know mainly what it was. You didn't grieve properly.
I didn't.
That's the main thing, and that just hit. A lot of times, that's addicts. We go through a lot of, you know what I'm saying, a lot of trauma, and we don't get the right counseling for it. So we don't, because don't nobody gotta die for you to grieve. You can be grieving over an opportunity that you lost in life.
Absolutely. A lot of people don't see it.
Yeah, and that shit can weigh on you just as bad as losing a relative. If not harder sometimes. I know you might have your whole everything looked into that, and you just knew that it was gonna work out. But then something went left, and it's like back to the drawing board.
How did I get here?
Fuck am I doing wrong, man? I tried everything right.
I did A, B, C, D, E, F, disease, everything right. And how am I a double A and F? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I kind of
Crazy
feel like,
how that works.
yeah, I think my biggest concern right now, for me personally, is finding a purpose.
That was even more
Because I
expensive.
had the kids, I had a business, and I was a daughter.
Yeah, that
You know,
boat's
I had a
$500.
Right.
When my brother passed, I was a sister. Even though I had siblings,
It's expensive.
my brother was my best friend. So and I haven't found another best friend like. I called my brother at 2 o'clock in the morning and be like, Melissa called me and did this dumbass, stupid, drunk shit, you know, and he'd laugh and I laugh and he'd be like, just call her and say you love her.
Right.
Suck it up, buttercup, you know.
Yeah.
You have that friend that'll just tell you what to do regardless you don't want to do.
Yeah. Be that push and that tough love.
Absolutely.
That's ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You know something, April? I was thinking since they putting them fences up and stuff out there and they kind of renovating outside trying to make it look pretty. You said you like planting vegetables and stuff. Maybe you could talk to Mr. Shaheed and Mr. Austin and ask him since you are blackout, if you could go to the store, get some seeds, maybe plant them by the outpost, see what they say.
Unfortunately, because we live in the city, it would bring more rodents,
Okay.
and I'm not allowed to do that.
Gotcha.
Trust me.
So you just put me on with something.
Yeah,
Why would you bring rodents? Just curious.
because it's true.
They're gonna smell it.
Yeah, even if I would make like a greenhouse around it, they would chew it. They would find a way. But you would put like metal with it. It's the same way. You would put
chicken wire, right?
Yeah, chicken wire. Yeah, okay. Yes. Could you bring me something to drink?
We halfway done, bro. I ain't gonna have it too much longer. We just wrapping up the interview. So her husband right there, man, handsome looking guy. When you can see him.
Okay, baby. But I did ask about the vegetables and I was told. No.
Okay.
I even tried, I tried like a box,
Right.
at my own cost. No. That was a no.
Alright, well, we're gonna keep on trying until we figure out something they gonna work with us. They're gonna give us some rhythms one way or another.
Absolutely.
Alright, next question. What have other people told you about your drug use? It could be good or bad. Something that stood out. Maybe it might have been a close friend or maybe a stranger said something to you one day.
How? I did. How? I don't know what you're talking about. Can't help it. Sorry. How were you still conscious? Was one of my brothers asked me one time. We were going shot for shot. I'm a tequila drinker.
Oh shit, that's that firewater.
Yeah.
With the worm in the bottle.
Yeah. 14 shots later, he's like, "How are you still?" I'm like, "Let's go. Let's
Have
go."
you always been like a big girl? Even though, because they say that the heavier a person is, the more alcohol they can handle. That's not always the case.
No.
And I learned that. I got a
My
friend
older
that
sister,
gets
she
drunk and
gets
shit
a
quick.
shot in her, and she's slumped. My younger sister, she weighs probably around 112, 135. She gets a half a
Is there a
shot.
James Richardson in here?
She twisted like she drank a whole bottle. And I'm looking at her like, and you want to go shot for shot?
Right, you better think again.
You better think again. My mom, my mom's got a whole, my mom went.
Wow.
Yeah, but she drinks vodka and I couldn't. That's what my dad used to drink. Whenever I smelled it, it reminded me of rubbing alcohol.
Yeah, that vodka shit. Now tequila, that shit burn, but that vodka, it's like that shit is really poison. I had some black watch, and I think that's vodka. Bottom of the barrel shit.
Oh, no.
I drunk that one time, woke up with alcohol poisoning the next day. Never again. I had diarrhea that
Oh, I bet.
I was messed up, April.
I mean, I think each person has their own taste. Like, my grandfather, my dad's dad, he likes Crown Royal. He just started drinking the Crown Royal apple.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Crown Royal apple.
Or
just-
come in that purple bag. I know what
Yup,
you're talking about.
I mean, that that burn. It's not. It's that crisp apple taste.
Right.
I
It's
mean,
kind of smooth.
It's smooth. It is so smooth.
Right.
Good.
Once again, we're not condoning
No.
alcohol.
Just
Say
making
no to all drugs.
No, but like my dad's side of the family, they all drink. When we have a family function, they all drink. So when my siblings would go, I would get mad. I'd ask them, would you just wait till we leave?
Because you know what's going to happen.
Happen. So then they would start drinking, and
Right.
they all get sloppy. And then they're fighting with the cousins.
Yeah.
And all this drama
Right.
over a can of beer.
Right.
My uncle would ride his little four-wheeler with a fucking case of Budweiser in the back, drinking it like it's a can of soda, and keep going like, "Hey, let's go again." I'm like,
It's crazy though, April, because I'm sitting there thinking, just off the stories you telling me, and I'm not going to lie. White people, y'all know how to have fun. It don't take no money. Y'all just get y'all a keg of beer, and it's gonna go down.
Let me tell you this one story.
Man, that shit was used to have fun when I was living out West Virginia. I was
Yeah,
the only black
Tigers is a
person
good
for
place.
miles, but I loved it out there.
So, my mom's side of the family, we got a lot of Indian in us. My grandfather's Indian, and my grandfather is Cherokee, and my grandmother is Black. So we would go camping at the beginning of August. So one year, all four, me and my mom and my 3 siblings and I went camping. So I was smoking the pipe, a little weed, and the siblings had gotten drunk. So I'd be like, hey Philip, Melissa and Nicole said you a bitch. Melissa, Nicole and Philip said you hit like a girl. Nicole, Philip and Melissa said you can't beat that. So they'd be sitting there beating the shit out. I'm sitting there choking some weed. My mom be sitting there right with me like, stupid motherfucker.
They believed you?
I mean,
I would have been like, man, did you say that?
but they would be they're just so inebriated.
Oh, they be incoherent from what they was doing.
Drinking.
Oh,
Yeah.
So they was getting drunk and you be fucking with them.
Yeah, me and my mom started smoking weed. My mom would eventually get drunk. She'd have to hang off the back of the van so she don't fall like this. And
Yeah.
my uncle was on the picnic table asleep because he didn't know where his bed is.
Right.
My brother's at some old lady's tent because he wanted to get some nookies.
Wow.
But just like
Chaotic, but it's all falling into place the way it's supposed to.
yeah, always. We
That's
always had a great time.
Y'all sound like a dysfunctional, functional family.
We put the fun in dysfunctional on both sides. You know what I mean?
My
Both
family
sides.
like that too.
But we always
It's like we crazy, but when we get together,
it's all
it's
love.
always love.
It's always
That's
love.
what's up. Yeah.
Even on my dad's side, I'll tell you one last story. So, at Christmas time, you get a present, and someone gets to pick it, and then they pick your name out of a hat. Now, the person before you can steal their present that they open, or you can open a new one. So as soon as one of the little kids would get
Wait, so if I open the present and you like what I got, you can take it?
yeah, I can take it. But then you got to open a new one. So whenever one of the kids would get a Nerf gun, I'd steal the shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, I need this shit.
Yeah.
So all night I'd be stealing the Nerf gun back and forth.
Yeah.
Give him like a blanket. Take a Nerf gun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm coming home, I got me a Nerf gun,
You're the bigger sibling, so
No, I'm the middle. So I would take it from the my cousin's kids.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You was older than the one that you was taking.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
but I always play with the kids. Like my siblings, they never did that with my cousin's kids.
Okay.
I would be in the pool throwing them, and you know what I mean.
Gotcha.
They'd be like, "How do you make it out here with all?" I'm like, "I need this Nerf gun to hit the little rats out in my house. What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They'd be like, "You got rats here?" I'm like, "Yeah, they're big as cats." You know, and these little kids' eyes are bigger than.
Yeah, they amazed by this.
But this lady's 40 years old and wants my Nerf gun.
Right.
You know what I mean? But we always have a good time. You know what I mean? It's just hard to explain because when my
It's
dad
something
passed,
you gotta experience
it
to
is.
understand it.
I wish we would play it here. It would be funny. Everybody buys a $5 gift, and you put names in a bucket, and then you can steal presents back and forth.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that gift game you said.
Yeah,
I thought you
that's-
was talking about just the living in them type of environment where everybody's chaotic but come together.
I mean, you gotta think, we have what, 85 people here? Yeah. 85 different personalities on any given day. Plus everybody's 10 different personalities.
Yeah.
Plus your personalities. That's 850 different people you're dealing with on a daily basis.
On a daily basis.
You don't know which one you're getting. You're
don't
gonna
know
get
what you're
April,
gonna
or you're gonna get Teresa the bitch, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She didn't
It's
hear
like
me.
a box of chocolates. You never
You
know
know what you're gonna get. Absolutely.
That was one of the first sayings I remember from watching movies. Forrest Gump.
Absolutely.
We rolling along with this interview. I hope y'all enjoying what y'all getting here. This shit don't
Definitely,
stop,
definitely.
man. Like, comment, subscribe.
Sure,
we
do that.
gonna keep this thing rolling. We ain't stopping. We not stopping. All right. What makes you think that you may need to make a change in or about your drug use? We're basically saying what makes you think that you had to do something about it.
because I didn't want to be sick anymore. I really didn't want to be. I didn't want to be. Like I said, I didn't want to have to get up to go get better.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, being ill was no fun.
Nah, hell no, that shit ain't
No,
no
you know what I mean? Like, no fun at all. And I'm the biggest baby when I'm sick. Like,
Right.
baby me, I'm dying, I'm gonna die.
Oh,
You know what I
no,
mean? But
yeah, we definitely can't let you
Yeah,
get
oh yeah,
sick.
yeah. No, I'm that person. Definitely.
Do the whole
Make a whole
job.
show about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me what your drug addiction has cost you. When I say that, I mean like
Cost me my sanity.
you got what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like for me, it was a lot of turmoil. Just my mother grieving and always worrying about what I'm
Yeah.
doing. It cost me a lot of It cost me my mother worrying. That's what it
Personal,
cost me.
not
Yeah.
only, but for her personal
Yeah.
grief over you. Yeah. But no, my sanity, I think, I should have been able to handle it a little better. Miss that feeling.
Makes sense. And this shit will definitely fuck with your sanity. Like one thing it's gonna get if it don't attack nothing, it's your sanity after a while. You start to forget who you are. 'Cause that shit
Absolutely.
makes you be animalistic. Like
Yeah,
you do
absolutely.
shit that
Survival.
you wouldn't do if you was in a normal state of mind. You
If
know
you
what
were
I'm
right
saying?
now, yeah, absolutely. You get that
Yeah.
survival, and like, oh no, I need this. No, I can't give you. You know what I mean? And over a pen.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a pen.
Yeah.
And you know you can go get a pen from your bag, but no, this is my pen. You know,
Right.
just like something stupid.
Yeah. I get you.
Absolutely.
Oh, you're so sweet, you
What would be the likely consequences if you continue to use drugs or alcohol? Besides death, because we all know that's definitely inevitable. If you don't stop using, you will die from it.
The ability to remember the good times. Because I think I would probably go insane.
Gotcha.
Trying to cover up, forgetting about the bad stuff. I'd eventually think my brain would just forget.
I see what you're saying. That's a deep one. I would have never thought about that. Like, basically just all the good memories I had over the years, not having them no more.
Not be able to look back at them.
Yeah, that shit, that's all I got to look forward to.
You know what I mean? That good, oh, I remember this Easter, I remember this birthday, or I remember this one day we were just outside.
Yeah.
We went to the river that day,
Right.
just something crazy.
Yep.
And you had a good time.
Yeah.
And you didn't have anything planned.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was
It just was natural fun.
yeah.
That's what I call high off life. Just
High off life,
loving life.
absolutely. Absolutely.
So I think this is the last question out the drug and substance abuse questions. What might be the negative consequences of giving up drugs, if there's any at all? I think I know what you're gonna say, though. You get what I'm asking you?
Not being able to numb those bad moments.
Okay.
So I get overwhelmed.
Right.
Maybe on the side of losing myself by that, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. By having them all the time front and center.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely for me. I don't even really think it's nothing negative for me giving up. I think probably like you said when I first started, just that feeling of fuck it. But other than that, it's nothing really negative about it. I feel like it's all positive not getting high no more. I don't gotta worry about being sick. I ain't gotta worry about being broke.
Yes.
I don't gotta worry about it breaking my body down.
Absolutely.
Like all that shit is shit that I'm glad I don't gotta worry about no more.
But also at the same time, even if you're sober and clean, you have the case of fuck it.
Yeah.
You can.
You can.
You have some people who are just like, fuck this, fuck that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The fuck this thing down.
Yeah, too. Yeah, you right. If you had to say, what use a half, is your glass half empty or half full? And why would you say?
It's half empty.
And this is giving the viewers kind of like a glimpse of what type of person April is.
I would say half empty because of my life experiences. And I think that the fact that my cup is half empty because I've lost so much. I want to keep what I have. I don't want it to go any less than half. I'm not willing to give up any less than half. I've already done that. My cup is half. I'm not willing to give it any more.
That makes sense. That makes sense. All right. We got a bonus question for you.
I really enjoyed this thing.
No problem, April. If you want, we can do another episode later on.
All right.
Maybe a couple days.
I got you.
Because I got a couple different surveys. The one you did was about the drug abuse and substance abuse. All right, bonus question. Do you like our president?
Well, you know, one of the things you're not supposed to do in life, talk about religion, politics, and your sexual orientation. Yeah, that's something I learned early on in that. So, my opinion is he is the President of the United States, and I will respect him because he is the President of the United States. However, it is not okay to do the things that he does. Just because you have $1 million in your pocket doesn't make it all right for you to treat people any way you want to be treated. I'm hoping that he will turn it around. I still give him faith in that, but at the same time, his actions speak louder than his words sometimes.
Yeah, he got a big ass mouth.
Yes, he likes to act like he's King Tutty. King Tut. King Tut of Turd Island, let me be honest.
Yeah, and real quick, did you hear what he was talking about doing to all the criminals?
No, I didn't.
He's talking about getting permission from like El Salvador to basically send all the hardened criminals that just broken and they can't get their act together, sending them over there to do their time and getting rid of them.
And what is El Salvador getting in exchange?
I don't know. I think maybe they're getting free green cards for a lot of the immigrants that don't have them yet.
That's gonna be hard.
Alright, I found the real bonus question. That was the practice bonus question, y'all. This is the last one. This is the bonus question, the all bonus question. You ready?
Okay, what is it?
If you had one wish, what would it be? This really gives the people a taste of what April like.
I want everybody to be happy. That's my one wish.
That's your one wish? That's it?
Yeah.
Wow, you could get anything. Money,
Everyone to be
nice
happy.
car.
Just everyone to be happy. I couldn't wish for world peace because someone's always gonna have a problem with somebody.
Yeah, you can wish for world peace and in 2 days beefing again.
Yeah, but everyone deserves happiness.
I don't know. So
And I wish everybody happiness.
that's alright, April. Alright, thanks for coming on the show.
Absolutely.
Before we wrap it up, is there anything you want to say to the camera? It's a little girl out there that need to hear what you got to say. She might be ready to say fuck it, hang it on up, thinking that life ain't worth living.
Never give up. And sometimes it's hard, but it's always worth the journey.
Say that again.
Life is hard. Never give up. It's always worth the journey.
It's always worth the dream.
Yeah.
That's deep. I'm gonna have to think on that one a little bit.
So we're for happiness for everybody. Happiness for everybody. I'm giving out happiness like Oprah.
Y'all,
You get a car. You get a car. Happiness.
y'all, and I gave you a nickname. So in the future, April the 1.
April the 1.
April the 1.
All right.
You the 1.
All right. I appreciate that.
Y'all like what we doing on this channel? Comment, subscribe, get with it. Tell a friend and make sure you tell that friend to tell a friend. Until the next one, we out. Bye.
Bye.